comes from Wheeling. I might be crazy, but everyone put your hands together for Sean Bishop.
Thanks. My parents are also in the military, but they did give me the birds and the bees talks. My dad said, don't fuck up your life. My mom said, if I have a child out of wedlock, I'm disowned. That's them laughing. They're the only two people that really fucking laughed. You're welcome. I'm also losing my voice right now, which fucking sucks. So if I progressively go through this set and it seems like I'm all of a sudden having emphysema, I'm sorry. They say kids look a lot older nowadays. I think kids from the 80s look a lot older nowadays. These 80s kids are starting to look a lot like they're 40. I don't even think we should call them kids anymore. Cool. Are all blind men Nazis? Was haben Frauen und Hanganaten gemeinsam? Seist du den Ring ab, ist dein Haus weg? That's a really funny joke in German. I don't know if any of you guys speak German. If you don't, it's all right. I don't either. We'll just have to deal with it. There are billions of rocks on the earth, but there's only one named Dwayne. Thank you, Cody. Some people tell me I look like Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. If he was fat, white, had a beard, a shitty haircut, a fucked up face, and lived at home with his parents. And they'd be right. I also look like a bus driver. But really, I'm unemployed. Awesome. I have a friend that wrote a screenplay, and he decided that he was going to direct it himself, and his name's Morgan. And while directing the movie, Morgan started to go blind. And nobody knew what was wrong with him, so he had to go see a doctor. And after many tests over multiple days and many, many hours, the doctor finally came to a conclusion on why my friend Morgan was going blind. He came to me and said, Sean, your director friend, he's developing a film in his eyes. Awesome. I wonder often, what's harder for a priest, baptizing a cat or making pussy wet? Cody, you're carrying this fucking crowd. If I did not have you right now, I would fucking cry. God damn. Not true. I've never cried, I'm a man. I like to go fishing. I realize fishing is a lot like dating apps because it's all about what you use. I'm using a stick with a hook at the end of it. But growing up, my dad would disagree with me. Tell me the most important thing about fishing is patient. And I try and be patient. I'll sit on these dating apps for hours, just fishing away. That's not even the punch, goddamn. Guys looked at me and just said, yeah, he's fucking single, you're not wrong. I'll be on these dating apps for hours fishing away, but somehow at the end of the day, I always end up with my own hook in my hand. God, I should just be more self-deprecating. You guys looked at me and laughed so much harder at not the punchline. I said the punchline. You're like, man, this joke sucks. Sounds good. There's a lot of sayings in the English language, but I think the most important one is that you can lead a horse to water, but you probably shouldn't fuck them.
True.
True. Enum Claw, if anybody knows about it, Google it.
No.
2 people did. I went to college in Kaiser, West Virginia. Kaiser is a town located right in the middle of the Appalachian Mountains. And the town's down the valley, and up on the hill, there's a bunch of windmills. And we used to party up at the windmills, and we'd be up there drinking, smoking, listening to music. And we also always listened to bands like Iron Maiden and Black Sabbath. Not because any of us were into that music, but man, those windmills, they're big metal fans. Awesome. My name's Sean Bishop. I have a goal in life to be the most famous Sean Bishop, which is fortunate because there's not many of us. If you think about it, in 1981, the second overall draft pick in the NBA draft was a guy by the name of Isaiah Thomas. And in 1989, a woman in Washington State named her son after him. And that Isaiah Thomas grew up to be one of the greatest point guards in NBA history. How fortunate, I wasn't even, someone fucking. You two have to be so fucking stoned. You're both smiling right now. I just fucking giggled and I just gave him a history like a fact about the NBA. This crowd's fucking wild. It's great. But that Isaiah Thomas grew up to be one of the greatest point guards in NBA history. How lucky am I that they weren't named Sean Bishop? Because my dream would have ended the moment I got cut from the 6th grade basketball team. Luckily for me, I just have to be more famous than actor Sean Bishop. Exactly. Who the fuck's that guy? Turns out actor Sean Bishop's famous for one movie role where he played the eldest son to the main character in the 1977 classic Close Encounters of the Third Kind. Which means right now as an open mic comic, I am second to a guy that's been out of work for 44 years. Like if you guys can leave here tonight and remember my name's Sean Bishop, then I will be the most famous Sean Bishop right in front of a guy that I only assume is a homeless man on the streets of Hollywood that once played a side character in a movie about communicating with aliens. And I hate alien movies. Because alien movies are always about how do we communicate with the aliens. What we should really be worried about is can the aliens communicate with spiders? Because if the aliens just show up and decide to wipe out the human race, they're a bunch of racists. But if they can speak spider, I'm the racist. I don't know if you guys know this Hitler fella, but let me drop some numbers on you. He's famous for this thing called the Holocaust, where he killed 66% of the Jews in Europe. I have killed 100% of the spiders I've ever fucking seen. Which means if the aliens speak spider, I'm gonna be the dickhead in every alien history book and try to wipe an entire species off this planet. But if a spider genocide makes me the next Hitler, I'll own it. I'll vow to kill every last one of those 8-legged fucks. Because every single person in here knew who Hitler was, and not a damn one of you knew who actor Sean Bishop was. And I played to win. That's usually a closer, but it's not tonight. We're going strong. God damn, this is going well. Worth the hour drive, guys. Last time I was here, I mean, you're all still fucking college kids. It did not fucking pan out well for me. Rough night for sure. What do I even want to do? Jeez. I used to be a co-manager of an 84 Lumber in Elkins, West Virginia. I was the youngest guy there, and all my employees were much, much older than I was. And I had this thin, anemic-looking guy there named Vinny, and Vinny had a wife that was way out of his league. And Vinny came to me one day and he says, Sean, I've been cheating on my wife, what should I do? I'm not the guy to ask, but I thought about it for a second. I said, Vinny, when we frame houses, we don't use screws, we use nails. We don't use screws because when the framing shifts, the screws will snap. We use nails because nails bend. And Vinny looked at me funny for a second. He said, Sean, what does that have to do with anything? I said, Vinny, if you keep screwing other women, I'm going to nail your wife. Awesome. This week, Betty White died. And, yeah, how sad. And I told my mom that I had to figure out a Betty White joke. And the only thing she said to me is, Sean, be respectful. So this is what I came up with.
Oh no.
I kept seeing a bunch of posts, that were mostly women, that were saying things like, how sad is it that Betty White couldn't make it to the end of the pandemic? How terrible is it that she couldn't make it through COVID? I'm gonna give you guys a fucking history lesson really quick. Betty White was almost 100 years old. This was her 6th pandemic. What's even the fucking worst one? I want you guys to know, that woman, her last husband died in 1981, okay? Outside of like a year of emotional stress, that woman could have been banging dudes all through the AIDS epidemic. Perfectly fine. And now you guys are sitting there looking at me like, that's 40 years ago, she was still 59. Who was banging Betty White? I would be banging a 59-year-old Betty White over any woman I've ever slept with. Guaranteed. If she would have made it one more day, it would have been 15 years in a row that my New Year's resolution was to fuck Betty White to death. I wish you would have gone out with a bang. R.I.P. Betty White, a fucking dead. I'm Sean Bishop. I love you guys. You guys have a fucking day.